Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia Pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue diving into one Chinese expressions that's depicting woman's beauty. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 妙龄女郎, which is kind of a contemporary expression because when we talk about 女郎, it's kind of flirtish. I doubt ancient Chinese would address any girl, stranger, like you don't really, because the ancient times, the Chinese, to approach a girl, you got to be introduced by somebody. And if you know somebody in that family, good luck to you. But if not, you have to through matchmakers to do that. You cannot just approach a woman on the street. And this 女郎 have this addressing or concept of a woman single standing. You don't need to approach her through anybody. You can just approach her yourself if you have the guts. Okay. And 妙龄, I translate it as a prime age. Well, there's certain subtlety over there. Let's talk about 妙 because there are two versions of reading. Contemporary Chinese, 妙, we have the woman symbol, which you look this just like that, right? And it's squished to the side, become part of the component of this 妙 concept. And if it's it means a girl plus this concept 少, that means small or reduce. That came from this 小 concept. 小 means cut something in half. So this is the something, and the middle is the cutting. You separate something into half. So when you cut something into half, that means it's guaranteed it's smaller than its original. Because I find Chinese have 大, which is the combination of something with a binder, like bind them together. That means double the size of something because you have something binding the two things together versus 小 is instead of placing this binder horizontally, you're placing this cutter vertically to separate something into two. And that's my theory of this big or small in both English and Chinese. We have this unsaid standard. It's smaller than something or bigger than something. It's a comparison. Because otherwise, how are you going to say something or big or small in absolute terms? It's always in relative terms, like what you regard as big or small. And there's some shared common knowledge or common sense between the language speaker and the listener that they know roughly what they are comparing it to. So in this case, if we're talking about age, you can compare the age of this spectrum of age grouping that you will consider who is the old, meaning older, on the older spectrum of the age group, and or groups, different generations, or the younger one, we use a small. So it's all in relative terms. And this cutting in half is smaller than, right? And now at this kind of curvious looking thing, I don't exactly know why Chinese have this ropey looking thing attached to the middle part of it. So I'm guessing, making my guess right now, that this means somebody is reaching out or attach a string, almost like attach a string to the middle, the cutter thing. It means the action to, after it's cut into half, it means the action of reaching out to remove further from this already smaller than thing and make it even smaller. So small, then smaller, smaller than small. Okay, because small is already smaller than, and then you have this double derivative of that. You are smaller than small itself. Okay. So that's Chinese 少, really equivalent to English few or little, like minimum. That means you at least double cut it into half and a half, quarter of the original supposed standard size. Okay, and the left side is we can view it in two ways, and that determines how I'm going to interpret it. So the two circles. one Chinese character that looks like this. It means a baby in a bundle. The big head and then the rest of the body. That's how baby started. That looks like that. And if it's a baby, instead of here is a girl, that means a very young thing and very little of something. So it means young and little. Okay, combined together, how can it be prime? If in human life we develop like a curve shape, I mean bell curve, right? It may not be bell curve. Just assume we have our prime or peak time of our intellectual, physical, everything. Like the best of us at a certain age, we peaked, like primed at a certain time. Then this, baby form and the little few concept paired together, that means somewhere in the beginning, right? How can attribute this to, because this to me is a prime. That's the best time, the peak time. And how can you name the very early stage of human development as a baby and something that's very little as the prime, right? It doesn't make sense. Especially, I translate as a prime, 妙龄, because in contemporary Chinese, when we hear 妙龄, that really means prime age. And prime age, again, there are unsaid social contexts for that. That means a woman's prime age, the best childbearing age of that woman. So you can view it as around 20-ish, that's the prime. Childbearing, just biologically, age. But it's okay if we view baby bearing age as the prime defined in this context, that then this baby plus little is still too young for that. It's like age 2 trying to describe age 20. It's not fair, right? So my second reading of that is, you notice here is I got this line saying, punctured all the way to the end. And actually it looks just like a line and then with 2 circles inserted onto that line. It almost looks like a circuit of electronic wiring. And that in ancient times, I mean, I've seen that structure several times. It means mechanical structure. So mechanical that involves this maybe, is it called a trolley system? So that involves a circular motion converted to vertical or other directions. So there is a certain energy, directional change or amplifying energy that the human came up with devices that try to amplify our forces. So this system paired with this 少, that means make sure it's a smaller than small, it's a little, so little, when I see that, it means minimal. You're using the minimal energy or the minimal device or the structure to make it a streamlined. And so everything works out just fine. There's nothing extra to it. There's no waste. So this prime, I would like to, when we look at it from mechanical engineering context, then that means it's everything is optimized, that you don't have any waste of energy, waste of material to make this construct that to reach your goals. So this miao, more like this craftsmanship or engineering ideal of this peak, this functionally, it reached the best status of being. This in this case, it's humanly made mechanical structure like this, and make it a minimum, right? Minimum waste. But in the context of a woman, we're describing the woman's age. The prime age means everything is optimized. Like all her biological age is primed to give you the next generation. So that's the 妙 in this context, and it works out fine. If we look at it not as a baby, but as this mechanical construction. Okay, Ling, we have the teeth, which is the mouth symbol, looks like that. And then we'll have this M, letter M thing. That's a Chinese awkward way to describe the teeth, both the upper teeth and bottom teeth, because this is the upper lip and bottom lip of a human mouth. And because its teeth is inside, right? So to visualize that, it's kind of X-ray it. You can see the teeth spreading out like that. So that's Chinese teeth. And then the top is Chinese foot symbol, which is this is the big toe, and this is the arch of the foot. And then this is the pinky toe. This is the rest of the toes. So again, we use 3-finger hand symbol to describe the whole hand. We use a 3-toe symbol to describe all 5-toed foot of humans. And by itself, it means stop walking. It's just a static foot image. And here is the teeth image. You have teeth, foot, and then the right side is this triangle thing, means gathering. And then this kind of a question mark look thing with this sign, it almost like a side view of human hunching over. And that's a human, that's submissive looking human. And the triangle means a certain social order, or that's one reading, or it means the gathering of humans. So gathering of humans means a cluster or many of them, means a population almost. And then you have this stop and this teeth together with this, okay, the right side together of this gathering of humans actually means giving orders. So I guess language creators recognize that for humans, this kind of submissive looking humans together with this, either it shows this hierarchy. I doubt they view human, I mean, back then have the social science to view the human society as a triangle structure, because that's a construct later by scholars, right? But who knows, maybe. And also it could mean gathering. So when language creators put this submissive human next to the gathering, that means you have a ton of humans that are under your rule, and you kind of have to organize the society in a certain way to make sure submissive people continue to be submissive to your rule. And eventually this character, this triangle thing with the submissive person image, means giving orders or instructions. And giving orders and instructions, eventually we just reserve or preserve the meaning of order. And just like in English, order have giving instructions, directives as one meaning. And the second meaning, meaning sequence of things to be done, right? Things in order versus disorder, right? So there is this double layer of meaning of the order English word itself. And in Chinese, same thing. I mean, it's giving instructions or following the directive, or from the ruler all the way down to the individuals, that the people need to follow the order from the toppest ruler. And at the same time, this Ling also have this order, this sequential meaning to it. Because I guess giving orders mostly is talk about the instructions. You do 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in this sequence. Could be. Okay, so in any case, there is this sequence meaning in there, and then there's this teeth, and we have this stop sign of the foot symbol. Together, it make the meaning of age, and my interpretation is age is a sequential sequence of orders of how we pass throughout life, right? We cannot jump the years, so we have to go sequentially one after the other, just like humans, one follow the other. To make that an orderly society, we have our orderly years through life. And then we have the mouth symbol, the T symbol to be exact. Simply people can tell people's age through teeth. I don't know how exactly people do that, but tooth is a good age teller. And here we use that. And stop sign simply means we put this otherwise blended lifespan into the stoppers of, okay, this year, to cut your lifespan into years. So that's my long-winded definition or explanation of what age, this simple concept in English, age, 3-letter thing that I spent like 10 minutes to explain. Okay, 女 simply the icon of girl, and in ancient Chinese, 女 means unmarried girl, so basically somebody's daughter. Okay, and 郎 originally it means, I translate it as a darling because eventually it means often this character used to describe handsome man. When we say 郎, that's the first response. Actually, when we say bride and groom, right? This groom, we use 新郎, new darling. Okay, 新郎, in that sense, it makes sense because it's a new husband, it's a groom. It becomes somebody's new darling. And this darling came from, you see the same hunched over side view human figure like this. And plus, instead of using the triangle here, we use a circle on top of this human figure. So this figure, well, not a good drawing, together it actually means unit of government organization or government region. So you can view it as a city or town, or your province, things like that. So simply here, it means the land, right? And then the bottom is the population on the land. So land, population, if you have a defined border of that, that means a region or the level of management of that city or state, however you want to scope that. And then the left side, we have this part, human, underground, close to underground. Okay, we have high ground and the low ground. When a human figure is near the low ground, that means death. Makes sense, right? When we're dead, we go underground. So this, human's position in relevance to the ground is highly sensitive. So this means close to die. I guess this, we can view it as death. And then the top, this circle with horizontal line in that is the sun. And honestly, I don't know what this is about. I can only guess. It looks like this. And this is the sheep horn, and sheep represent good virtues. So good virtues, I don't know why there's a connector over there. Plus the sun means the energy and the death together. This 3 parts all the way on the left. So the whole 3 parts of the left combined, stack up together, come up with a meaning of something as good. So I don't know why there's such a judgment of good. If this is the lamp, the sheep horn, that's virtuous. There is a value judgment up there. But the sun symbol, maybe this is somebody who brings positive energy until somebody died. We don't know. But the whole part means this goodness or something virtuous. And then that plus this township, let's say, okay, or stateship. Then that means the good, well-managed location or region. So well-managed region eventually lost its geographical feature, like it's no longer paired with region that much, but more to humans. Because when we see a good meaning, sometimes we transfer that to human quality. So when it's well run, well managed, everything is, somebody's positively, virtuously live until they die. That's a well life lived, and that's regarded as a darling. In the context of man. Now, when it pairs with girl darling, 女郎, as I said, it's more like you already build in your judgment toward this girl. And it's somebody well maintained, right? Well run. And then it's in the prime age in terms of childbearing. So 妙龄女郎 is kind of equivalent to Chinese young lady. When you hear young lady, there was not so much cultural judgment packed into it. But in Chinese 妙龄女郎, definitely this is a very dateable age. It's childbearing age, the prime time for that girl. And that girl is well managed, well maintained on her own. You don't need to approach her through any third party. You just go to her directly somehow, right? And I guess 妙龄女郎 in my concept probably well represented by this character from this pink red ladies, 粉红女郎, that talks about the city girls in urban, kind of like Sex in the City in Chinese version, like 20 years ago. And she created this image of independent girl, kind of like Samantha character. And that's, I mean, Samantha kind of past the childbearing age, but she represents the prime age and still very dateable, but she became very picky, independent, and hard to pursue, right? But she created this attractive female image that was not commonly seen in Chinese soap operas back then, at least. And then she is a good representative of this young lady image of 妙龄女郎. Thank you for your time. See you another time.